everyone, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So this is game number 3 from the French Interregio, and we were basically facing the other favorite for the final win. So Team Switzerland, we won it like 3 years in a row, I would say, and this year we had some good contenders with the team which was formed by Benji as the captain, who just ended up being on the third spot at ETC with Team France. And he basically summoned a group of French players, including Conco Freeze, who is living in France but playing with Switzerland. So nice to see Coco again, and I was paired against him, his Empire of Sonnstahl. So let's go for this decisive round for the final win. Definitely, we knew that winning this round would be huge moving forward, so definitely we expected to perform well. It was the last game of Saturday, so we needed to focus and bring our best to deliver a good result and still be to try to be on the first spot for the second day. So my list was the following, you saw it already, and this was Coco Free's list. I just forgot, I tried to put back the colors of chaff in green, but I forgot to color the Raiders, which is another piece of chaff, and then he has 3 scoring units that you can see in purple color. So basically his list is quite easy. You have 2 cannon, 1 steam tank and a normal cannon. You have then a solid magic, which is 2 adept, one on arcane engine and the other one on foot, with a good amount of buffs and range damage, we could say. Then 2 marshal to make general BSB, give the leadership and so on. And other than that, 5 units of chaff and 3 scoring. So basically the chaff is here to shoot at you, hurt you before you engage them. Then they are trying to grind some more wounds, and the idea is that you are very tired when you are getting into contact with units like Imperial Guard and Knight of the Sun Griffin. So basically that's the mechanic and the idea of this list. Setting, we played Breakthrough and Cornerstone. Cornerstone is the one with the line in the middle, and you need to put your most expensive unit, I would say, scoring unit maybe even. Within at least one model within 6 of the middle line. I had settled the score, which was basically killing his most expensive non-scoring unit, which was the little mage on the chariot all the way in the back of his battle line, so almost impossible. And he had unleashed the big gun, which is basically he picked I think he picked the side and picked the wall here, and he just needed on turn 6 to have a unit with shooting attack, and he has plenty of that on this wall to win the secondary objective. Below you have the spell selection for both of us. I think I maybe missed one spell, but you have most of the spell here written down. Matchup analysis. So yeah, 2 cannon, 2 very solid units and plenty of chaff. The cannon obviously very juicy target, and that's the main reason why I put it down as a negative matchup in the matrix. I was basically in the last part of the pairing process, one of the people going in their hand, and they could choose who was getting a positive matchup in our opinion, so for us against Benji, and who, if I remember correctly, and who was getting more negative, which was me, definitely against Coco. So basically I was clicked toward the end of the pairing process, so I knew I was going to face an uphill battle. Definitely a complicated matchup. I need to use the terrain to my advantage. I don't know if you saw before, but there is a hill. I'm going to show you after in more detail. I think it's here worth it to make some analysis on the map, because definitely a key element of the battlefield, and you will see I will try to take advantage of that during the battle. And yeah, I think going opposite side of the map, meaning I could go left, he could go right, and then we just try to cross each other, could allow to get a draw on the primary, but he has definitely a lot of units to put some traffic in the middle of the map, try to slow me down. So that's definitely one of the strengths of his list, so it was not going to be easy to win it as well. Okay, let's discuss about the map, because I think it's quite interesting. So definitely when I see the map, Coco wandered for side, he decided to pick top, I think mainly to pick the wall for his secondary objective. I think that was the main goal of his choice. You can see, no matter where you see it, there is here a zone that is going to be protected here against the shooting, and the same if you take opposite side, it's basically more or less the same. So a type of zone where you can go with the large model and not be targeted. So definitely I was going to play on the left side of the map. That was the main goal for me, because nowadays with the new mechanic of cannon and artillery, there is no misfire anymore. So I know for a fact that if I stay with two gigantic model with no ward save against double cannon, I'm going to die. I mean, it's just a matter of time. So I cannot allow him to shoot me freely during 6 turns with both cannons. So I need to find a way to reduce the amount of shot I'm getting, and once I move out of my hiding place, I would say, it needs to be worth it, basically. So we'll see how I can make that happen. Deployment wise, so like I said, Coco picked the side, picked the wall, and then I dropped everything for first turn. 2ID behind that, I can jump behind the hill and not allow him to get any shot on my worthy unit, or my sensitive unit, we could say. And also I could optimize my deployment with cornerstone, which is basically one left, one right, one left, one right. So I knew that dropping for first turn would also help me to get the most optimal deployment. So basically, what I got left to right, I got the Anointed here, so I was not allowed to deploy here due to cornerstone, but I have the Anointed that can march to this left side and form a strong left flank. Then I have Incarnate, I have my Bastion, and Tank can both go behind the hill. So that's the idea. Then Vassal Cav in the back. Blunderbuss needed to be within 6 of the middle line, so that's the unit that needed to be there, which I wasn't too happy with. I would have liked to have them more to the left due to the breakthrough that I was targeting. I would have been happy to have them more to the left. Anyway, then in the middle I have Lamassu and my Chariot that in 1 or 2 movement phase can go also in this zone behind the hill. And on the far right I just left 1 unit of Kadim to basically make some zoning and make him think twice about moving forward, and I can take advantage from the forest to not be hurt too much by his shooting. So that's basically the idea. Then I think from the Coco's perspective, there are 2 main options. Either he go in front of me, so more on the left, and try to target the BSB and the tank with his cannon, but then he need to face me with his entire battle line and go in combat maybe sooner than expected for him. So it would be definitely a risk. He elected to go on the opposite side, so he deployed some militia in the front, then you have the tank in the back, the Raider, scoring unit, the Demigriff on the right, the Chariot that I need to kill all the way in the back, so that's going to be impossible. And that's about it. So basically you see, his idea will be to play on the wall, to try to make secondary objective with some militia, and then to push with his scoring unit towards basically my breakthrough zone. Scoring unit, sorry, not those guys, but the guys here in the back. So he'll try to push my deployment zone and stop me from making my breakthrough. That's going basically to be his idea. So he used the hill to tell me, okay, you can hide, but then if you hide, you cannot try to claim the wall, and you cannot go breakthrough. So basically you're going to lose. So that's going to be his main idea. He allowed me to hide, but if I hide, I don't play. If he would have gone left, try to get some line of sight, or go more to the right to get some line of sight, then it's the opposite. It encouraged me a bit more to try to rush, because I have no place to hide. So here he likes me. I think that's the way I analyze it. He likes the fact that I could hide, basically, and I could make it a very standoff-ish game where he has a huge advantage on the primary and secondary, basically. Okay, let's move on to my turn 1. I go hiding behind the hill with both Bastion and the tank and the Lamassu as well. I just have the mage, which is light troops, so that should be okay with a ward save 4 up. I start to push left flank, Incarnate go into position. Those guys need to wheel, so they will need another turn to be in good position, and here I just basically form a good battle line. Those guys start to move towards the left. Magic phase, I get +1 ward save on the Prophet, and he dispel hereditary. He's turn 1, pushes a bit forward, the same, forming a big battle line. Quite straightforward, trying to get the first shot at Incarnate. I remember he had no range, so he needed to move with the tank to shoot at my Prophet. He had no range, which basically is going to be another -1 to hit. So he's going to hit my Prophet on 5 up, I would say, with the tank and the big cannon on 4 up, I would say. and then I have a 3-up ward save, so that should be fine. Magic Face, he boosts both War Machine one time with reroll to hit on the stank, and one time +1 to hit on the cannon. Is going to hit and wound me one time, but I'm going to pass the 3-up ward save, and basically my Prophet is all good. My turn 2, I continue to form my battle line, so I'm able now to push those guys, move a bit forward here. So my battle line is ready. I'm still hiding at the moment. I'm able to hide the Prophet as well. So everything precious at the moment is hidden. Those guys continue to move a bit left. Magic Face, I get a ward save off on the blunderbuss, which is my unit most exposed. It dispel against again Hereditary, and I get a fireball that kills 4 militia. His turn 2. It takes more space a bit here on the right. You can see the development. He starts to push with his scoring towards the right to basically push for the breakthrough. Then in Magic Face, you get a magic move, I think, on them as well, and get a reroll to hit on some militia. Shooting will not do much because he doesn't see me really, so try to shoot maybe at Anointed or Incarnate, but it doesn't do that much. Yeah, he killed like 1 Incarnate on the right. And my turn 3, yeah, now was the time for me to push. Basically, if you analyze the position here, Coco is on the wall, he's going to get breakthrough. I'm going to struggle to get something more than those guys in breakthrough. It's going to be hard to put the Bastion and impossible to put those guys. So basically, he's sitting comfortably on a 14-15 win, easily, if I do nothing, which is totally out of question for me. So I start to activate the push. I think I have decent chances here. He will start to have me, to feed me chaff, first of all. And I will grab some point in combat. My main idea is obviously to push him back from the wall as well, to save the secondary. And maybe I can try to stop this unit here for the primary and get maybe my Bastion into something like here in the deployment zone, and maybe get 2 against 2 and a tight primary. So that was definitely my goal. Let's go. So I push forward with everything pretty much. I really push forward with everything, marching with most of the stuff. I start to get shooting position here. I continue here to zone him. So I'm starting to push the ground. Magic Face, and I keep my 2 single model, which are a bit more sensitive, which is the Lamassu and the Chariot behind the hill. In the Magic Face, I'm going to get a 5d3 on the militia, kill 8. I'm going to get a ward save on my BSB to protect him a little bit. And then I'm going to kill some more militia with my shooting of the blunderbuss. His turn. I don't know if I got rid of a unit or not. Yeah, it doesn't seem so. I did some wounds here and there, but nothing too crazy. So his turn, yes, basically forming the screen of militia and to shoot me. Those guys can move in between to get the charge if they need to. He start to move downwards here. Here I was able to get a flaming token thanks to the Vassal Cav, which is quite important. It doesn't move the stank. He prepared the Raiders for a later chaff. And the Magic Face, I get reroll to hit on the militia, got Molten Copper 2 wounds on my tank, and one of the cannon is going to hit the tank and do 2 wounds. So that's okay. Could have been worse, definitely. So my cannon took 4 wounds. I'm still alive. We will see how does next turn go. So my turn 4, I continue to push. I debated a bit whether or not I need to activate the chaff. I felt it's safer. So basically what I was afraid of is the charge of Imperial Guard into the tank, which would allow him potentially to get in combination with those guys, maybe a flank overrun somewhere. So I was a bit afraid of the possibilities here that he could have. I could have moved the tank a bit back, to be honest. That was definitely something doable. And the second thing I wasn't totally sure of is still 30 Imperial Guard. I wasn't sure if 1 shooting phase plus a stand and shoot is enough to then fight the Imperial Guard with my Bastion. I don't know. I think considering the amount of counter charge that I have in place and the position of his chaff, for example, those guys are going to be hard to chaff. The tank, if he moves back, will be hard to chaff. So I could have potentially accepted the charge from Imperial Guard, and I don't think it's in the right. If you see basically the direction of the game, I don't think it's the right direction of the game, or if it makes sense for Coco to really try to charge my battle line in the middle of the line and potentially get stuck when he's just trying to rather avoid me and score the breakthrough without engaging. That's rather his game plan. So basically going into engagement would be in my favor, and if he failed charge, could potentially get multi-charge. I think it's way too risky for him. So I don't think in hindsight that I really needed the chaff. I could have moved just basically the tank a bit backwards and save my chaff for later, to be honest. Magic phase, I'm going to get 5d3 on the militia, kill another 7, +1 to hit on the tank that had very good shooting on his... those guys here, they are steadfast because they have 2 ranks, so I got +1 to hit from the spell and +1 to hit from the steadfast and -1 due to the movement, so I'm hitting 4 shot on 3+, 2+, and he save on 5s, and then it's multi-wound 2. So it can do some damage. Let's move to the shooting. I'm going to get 2 wounds on the Sungriff with the tank, which is fair. Then I'm going to get 6 wounds on the Guard with the Bastion, and the Blunderbuss going to do 5 wounds to the Militia. He's going to pass the panic check, and that's about it. He's turn 4. Yeah, he goes into avoidance, so he turns around the block, goes this direction. Those guys order, they march this direction, and here he continues to slide here. So yeah, that's what I expected. I think my chaff wasn't really well used here. I think it wasn't really needed. So he's going to try to shoot me with everything basically. Uses the Raider to double chaff me. The tank doesn't move to shoot me again. Uses the little guy that survives, just 2 of them, to chaff both the Blunderbuss and the tank. So that's definitely what his list does. A lot of chaff in all kind of directions. So yeah, that's obviously what to expect here. He can just chaff me for the remaining turn and try to focus on the breakthrough, but I'm going to try to get as many points as I can. In the magic phase, he's getting Ice and Fire, 3 wounds on Kalim Incarnate. I have to use 8 dice to dispel his 4 dice Molten Copper because it was a high roll, and then he gets a fly move, I think on one of his scoring unit to move forward. The cannon this time they shine, they made out of 8 potential wounds, 8 wounds. So first cannon shot without any roll to hit or +1 to hit, just straight at my tank. Boom, 4 wounds, dead, and the other one at the BSB, boom, 4 wounds. So yeah, that's what you can expect nowadays with cannon. Sometimes, yeah, it's going to be basically every time between 2 and 8 wounds, so there is no misfire anymore. So that definitely hurts on the tank, which is dead, and half of the health point lost on the BSB. So I knew that could happen, obviously, but yeah, it hurts. He shot at my Vassal Cavalry. I tried to fail the panic after the first couple of wounds, thinking I can flee and maybe save the points, but unfortunately I passed my check on the 7, which is bad, and then it does another 3 wounds to my Incarnate. I have only 2 models left, but then there is a very good opportunity for me here, because basically this guy's dead, which leaves me the space here to charge pass in the flank of those guys, and I don't know if you see it, but the tank is not here anymore, so the chariot can charge here, get an overrun into this unit here, which would potentially give me a second overrun into the flank of the scoring unit, which could potentially pin down 2 scoring units and harm heavily his chances of a breakthrough. So Coco is going to recognize that, obviously, because he's a good player. So as soon as I charge with Incarnate, he's going to flee and end up somewhere here with the big unit, and I'm going to redirect into the second unit, which was too close to stand and shoot. So basically that was totally okay for me. The chariot's going to take this charge here, no matter what, try to clean some unit. Okay, you see here the flee move of those guys. Those guys seem far away in 3 turns, but with the march rule, they're going to reach that without too much problem. Here you see Incarnate in close combat, the chariot in close combat. Those guys just, in case I would survive, he could charge me here potentially, but no overrun behind. I have multiple units looking at him. I could shoot, I could chaff, I could do multiple stuff, so I'm ready to do that. Here I took the charge in the chaff with Incarnate that are going to have an overrun on 11 Swift, and those guys move out of arc and they threaten both the tank and the cannon. So we will see how that goes in the magic phase. I kill some militia with pyro. No, not pyro. I don't remember. I think I got the ward save on the 2 Kadim in below of the map to try to save their wounds that are quite precious. And I'm going to kill some militia with shooting of the Bastion. I think those guys here, I kill like 6, and then next round is going to be able to move here out of line of sight somewhere, I guess. Yeah, that's about it. Then close combat. Here I kill some, I restrain, he flees, ended up here, which is perfect. It's chaffing the son of the Night Griffin, and I'm saving my Kadim, so that's perfect. Here I kill the little 3 guys, and here I kill the Raiders, and I make the overrun. I roll like 3 dice, 6, boom, in. So that's nice because I put a flaming token on the tank. I'm going to get rerolled wound. That's his turn, and then I can charge with the Anointed if I need to. The tank is not going to shoot at my BSB as well, so that's perfect, really perfect for me. A bit of luck here. He's turn 5, it's not the end position, those guys move a bit forward. I forgot to take the picture when he did. Those guys rallied, I think they were on low leadership. They were like leadership 6, yeah, because the rest just already moved forward, because the rally is now later, and he had to rally on leadership 6, which he made. Those guys were fine, they passed like a hard panic check. I remember him making some good checks. Yeah, they were here. Just thinking, why the hell did they move here? Because if they rally... they didn't rally, excuse me. I took the picture as well before. Yeah, he passed the panic check, he's here and is going to move back. Anyway, Magic Face, he got... Ice and Fire did nothing, Cannon did 2 wounds to my BSB, so he take half points. And then he makes the rally on the 6 on the big unit, which was obviously annoying for me because that's some points that I would have liked to claim. In the combat, I'm going to do... I have a charge, 2 ranks against the steam tank that has 1 rank, so I'm up by 2. And then I'm rolling 2 wounds, so hitting, I think it has defensive 1, so it's like 3 up. And then I think it has res 8 wounds, 3 up armor, something like that. So it's like 3 up, 6 up rollable. And then the grinds, the AP4 grinds that are really juicy, 6 up rollable. And I managed to do, I think like 3 wounds, I would say I'm up by 2. He did 1 Kadim. I did something a little more than him, like 4 wounds. He lost by something due to the end stable, everything, he just left with 1 wound. Yeah, would have been nice to get rid of him and be able to charge on my next turn into the cannon, for example, but I just survived barely with 1 wound. My turn, so I charge with Anointed in the flank. I don't recall if that was a potential charge or not, but I could have tried to charge the cannon. I just made sure and charged the flank of this tank with 1 wound left. But I could have trusted the Anointed, the Incarnate to finish the job and try to attempt the long charge on the cannon to take more points, potentially. I turn around here to get rid of those guys, so I prepare Pyro and the shooting to get rid of them, and I'm going to get it. Here I'm going to get more shoot to try to take those points. Here, yeah, as you can see, he's moving in my deployment zone. Nothing I can really do against that. And here I'm going to get the tank, basically. Magic Face, I kill some militia with Pyro, I finish them with shooting. And that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. I don't finish the militia in the middle. I take maybe half point of those guys. I don't, maybe even not. Yeah, I kill like 2 units of militia. I think that's about it. Yeah, as you can see, survive. His turn, he moves around. So I was able to defend the wall. I'm on the wall, so I cannot claim it anymore. He moves into breakthrough, gets some shooting, but nothing will be done. My BSB is going to survive on 2 wounds, and that's how we finish the game. And yeah, I forgot to mention Incarnate. We're able to get a nice, due to the restrain, reform, and then boom, march this way out of line of sight and save the half point, which is really nice. Ended up being a 10-10. He took my tank. I took the steam tank. I took, I think, 2 units of militia, the light cav, and he took from me the engine, half of my BSB, half of Incarnate, and the vassal cav. He did the breakthrough, definitely. I wasn't able to do it, and secondary, both of us didn't do it, which ended up being a 7-13. Post-game analysis, yeah, EOS, he chose, I think wisely. It was a very interesting game on a psychological level, I could say. For those of you who know Coco, he's a very good player, and he likes to play on the psychology part of the game. I think he likes it, which makes it very interesting because he tried to give some information about the game and what he thinks and so on. And early on in the game, he tried to basically, tell me that I was feeling fine and it was close, and like he was maybe going to win the secondary, primary, but it's not sure, and so on. So like, tried to make me feel that it was going to be a close game, and that was totally fine for me to hide. So it was quite funny. I was able though to basically read the situation and see that he was sitting on a very comfortable and easy 15-5 at least. So that was not something I was going to accept. And I think overall I'm quite happy about the game plan and the timing of my attack. I knew that most likely I would lose what I lost, which is like a tank and half the BSB. It's totally fine that I took so many wounds, but I think it felt right. The use of the impasse, the heal, and then push forward. I think I made overall the right choices, and there is not much more that I could have done better. I have the feeling after the game. Cornerstone didn't really allow me to optimize my breakthrough chances, which is a bit frustrating. Pinning down my main scoring unit in the middle of the board was obviously annoying because I couldn't really try to go more to the left to secure the breakthrough, which wasn't so easy because for him it was easier. Due to the amount of chaff, he has more control of the board than me. Knight of the Sun Griffin, they provided some solid zoning, and they pinned down my great weapon Blunderbuss, which couldn't really push forward. I struggled to get rid of the militia screen. I think it's always the case against this list for everybody playing against it. Maybe Highborn Elf have enough balls to get rid of them quickly, but it's not so easy. So many guys to get rid of, and as you can see, very often they survive, like 3-4 guys left, boom, they are light troop, they march forward, they make a chaff of 2 units. So that's not so easy to get rid of. Turn 4 Infernal Dwarves. I think when seeing the pictures, I'm not sure the chaff was needed. I was afraid of the tank overrun mainly. I think I should have just moved the tank back and make sure I get at least some counter charge. I think I was able to because my whole battle line is that. And like I said, I think it wasn't against, it was going against his game plan to charge with his main infantry block in the middle of my line. I think that's way too much. So I'm not sure he would have really taken it. And therefore I could have saved the chaff for later and put some more flaming token. Maybe even if you see a couple of, I think like on turn 3, my cav is quite high on the board, and I could have continued to push upwards close to the anointed and maybe go for the cannon. And I think overall, going for the cannon, saving those points, that little things that could make 1 point or 2 at the end. Double cannon, obviously a big issue for me. Obviously, I knew it. It's not the type of matchup that I like. But I knew that was going to be the case, and this allows my team to get some other positive matchup, so that's part also of the game. And very surprisingly, the orders gave EOS a good amount of speed to make breakthrough, as you saw. I mean, you don't feel, if you see the start of turn 3, you don't feel that he's going to make it with infantry, but he was able to. They march really fast when they get the speed buff, so that was quite impressive. The round went really as expected. We had 2 negative matchups. Lichmeister and myself both took the loss that we expected, to be honest. And then the positive that we were able to get, we also got the score that we expected, and the one that was really close got close. So overall, it really happened like it should have happened. Nothing too crazy. We lost a couple of points on Xavier's table, where he made a rule mistake, but it's version 3.0, so obviously you're going to miss some of the stuff. But he made a good game, so overall quite happy. We got 64 and 56, which is a +8, and definitely a good victory against a very strong team. Guys, that's all for this battle report. Talk to you soon for game number 4. Goodbye.